Here is something weird about fasting that nobody tells you. You might go to bed hungry, but you usually don't wake up hungry. Let's talk about why this matters. I'm Dr. John D'Ambrosio, chiropractor for over 32 years, author of the five-star reviewed book Fasting That Works, and I lost 20 pounds of fat while maintaining and even building muscle using intermittent fasting. So listen to me for a second here. When people think about fasting, they picture 24 hours of nonstop misery. In reality, if you're going to fast for 24 hours, a big chunk of your fast happens while you're asleep. And that's one of the reasons this works so well. So let me kind of walk you through this. Let's say you finish eating at 6 p.m. You're doing a 16-8, so you're not going to eat again until 10 a.m. From 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., you're awake for those 4 hours. Okay, that's what most people focus on. Oh, what if I'm starving at night? What if my stomach is growling on the couch? But here's what they forget. Once you go to bed, what happens to hunger? It pretty much just clocks out. You might feel a little hungry when you're winding down, but you don't spend 8 hours in bed thinking, I'm starving, I have to eat, is it time to eat yet? It doesn't happen because why? You're asleep, you're recovering. Your body is quietly doing what it's supposed to do, repairing, balancing hormones, and yes, tapping into stored energy, which we call fat. Then you wake up. Now, this is the part that really surprised me. It really surprised me the most when I got into fasting because I expected to wake up ravenous. I didn't. I expected to feel like a contestant on a survival show. Instead, what did I feel? I felt normal, no hungrier than on a regular day after dinner. So, why does this matter for you? Because it means most of the scary part of fasting is in your head, not in your body. You're imagining 16 hours of suffering, of misery, of starvation. What you actually get is maybe a couple of short hunger waves in the evening, then you go to sleep, then a morning where you're a lot more comfortable than you ever imagined you would be. Here's how to actually stack the deck in your favor. First, we talked about it, use sleep as a tool. Set up your fasting window so half of it happens while you're in bed. Stop eating at 6 or 7, get to bed at a reasonable time, and let your body do its thing. This is so helpful. Then, when you start the morning, start it on purpose. When you wake up, don't run to the pantry. Start with water, maybe a pinch of sea salt under your tongue, and then black coffee or tea if you like. This is important because it'll give your brain a chance to wake up before you start testing your willpower. Notice your hunger and be honest about this. Ask yourself, am I actually hungry or am I just used to eating at this time? Because most of the time it's a habit, not an emergency. You're used to eating, so your stomach starts to grumble. But this realization alone can change everything. Once you've gone through this process a few times, you know what you realize? I can do this. I don't have to be afraid of the clock. Fasting stops being this giant, terrifying, overwhelming thing and becomes a scheduled choice. These are my eating hours. These are my fasting hours. My body knows what to do in both cases. That's it. If you've been putting off fasting because you're scared of just being hungry all night long or all the time, remember this when you're going to be cutting off your eating window. You're asleep for a big chunk of it. You're stronger than you think. And with a little planning, fasting fits into your life a lot more smoothly than your fears would have you believe. If you want to start fasting tomorrow, there's a link to a free cheat sheet. I call it my fat loss cheat sheet in the bio. There's also a link to my five-star reviewed book, Fasting That Works, and a link to my entire course as well, if that's something you're interested in.